So this is my family, and this is Mr. Ziona's family, the world's largest family. And the impact that these two families have on this planet is massively different. Sometimes I just feel like overpopulation is the mother of all the problems, like if not all, then most of the problems, like environmental problem, like so many pollution in the atmosphere. So these are the type of problems that are created for human by human. So before having a look at what exact definition of overpopulation is, let's see what ideal population or optimum population is.
2 billion people. According to The Guardian, the optimum population of Earth, enough to guarantee the minimal physical ingredients of a decent life to everyone, was 1.5 to 2 billion people rather than the 7 billion who are alive today or the 9 billion expected in 2050, said Ehrlich in an interview with The Guardian.
So as we all know that overpopulation has so many impacts on our lives, on the environment. Most of the people know about it, like most of you know about that, I know about that. So the purpose of making this video is just to remind myself first, and then anyone else who is will just watch this video about that how and when are we contributing to the different social and environmental problems. Because you see, we are the society, we make the society, we are the people of society, so we cannot say that we are not contributing to any social or environmental problem. No, that is not possible at all. We are living in the society, we make this planet, right? We are the population that is living here, so we somehow in some manner contribute to, if not all, to so many social problems, to so many environmental problems. So we have to keep reminding ourselves that where we are contributing, and if we can stop right there or not, or even if we can just improve ourselves in a little bit and then step by step. So this is the whole purpose of making this video. And as I just mentioned that there are so many things, there are so many factors that an overpopulation disturbs, right? And so many of them are interconnected even, and it would not be possible for me to talk about all of them in a single video, but I'll touch a few of them. Population leads to the depletion of resources. There are finite resources and there are infinite resources, right? So these are the consumers and these are the resources. So when the consumers are more than the resources, there is gonna come a time when the resources will be vanished, will be finished, and the consumers will be left with no resources, right? Because the resources are finite, right? So this is what can happen if the present rate of population growth is going to stay as it is, right? Let's talk about water. Water, everyone is made up of water. I am made up of water, you are made up of water, everyone is made up of water. Scientifically and religiously. So we need water to survive, and as we are just studying from Bachpan, say that 70% of earth is covered with water, and 3% out of that 70% is only that is fresh water, and out of that 3% only 1% is what human can use for their usage, because the rest of it is in the form of glaciers, etc. So now some people say that water is finite, but water is renewable, right? Water is being created again and again through the natural water cycle. But there is a thing to understand, that the rate at which water is recycled by the natural water cycle is really slower than the rate that it is being used and that it is needed by humans. So suppose that this is the water that can be used by humans on the earth, right? And I'm the whole consumers, right? So I'm using this water in the form of sips. I'm taking the sips of this water, and the form in which it is being refilled is in the form of drops. So although it is being refilled, but the space at which I'm using it is much faster. I'm using sip of it, and sip contain more amount of water than drops. So eventually there will come a time that this water will be empty, right? And I'll be left with no water. So this is the case that can happen with the humans of this planet if they are not going to use water rightly, and if the population is just growing and growing and growing. So water is something that we cannot live without, and even if when I think about it, it is so dangerous, it is so scary that to even think about living without water or even facing shortage of water, because we have not faced it yet. And this is a thing in humans that until and unless we are not into the problem right there, we do not understand the intensity of problem. So only those people are understanding the problem who are facing it. There are so many areas or countries maybe where people are still facing the problem of shortage of water. They are not getting water, fresh water to drink. So only they can understand right now, but those who are not facing it right now cannot understand the intensity of problem, and they cannot understand the intensity through which it can affect us and what can happen. It is such a dangerous thing that can happen. According to the global outlook for water resources, by the year 2025, almost half of the world's population will be facing water-based vulnerability. So let's talk about food. Every living organism, every living being, and every human being needs food for survival. Just like water, we cannot survive without food. Again, I'll say that when consumers are more and resources are less, due to the shortage of these resources, there is going to come a time when these consumers have to suffer. Yes, people suffer because of the shortage of food. Still in this time, there are so many countries, there are so many areas where people have shortage of food, and there is going to be more and more in the future if the things will not improve. So what are the things that happen when food shortage occurs? There are so many things that happen, and again, as we know that water is used also in the production of food, and the water that is already in the shortage because of the overpopulation. So there are so many things that are interconnected when it comes to overpopulation. But there are three things that are for sure going to happen if shortage of food occurs, right? The first thing is inflation. Inflation happens when the demand of a product increases, the price increases. That is the law, that is how things work. The same is the case with food. When the food demand increases, so the all the items that are related to food increases, their price increases, right? And this leads to more and more poverty. The second thing that happens is drought. In so many areas that are least developing, that are very low in income, happens the drought there, and they face the dangerous shortage of food, and the death of masses happen, and just like that area suffer a lot. And the third thing that happens is the artificial production of food items, right? There are so many things that are created artificially to meet the high demand of food. One example that is very common here in Pakistan is broiler chicken. Broiler chicken is being created artificially. What is that artificial thing in broiler chicken is the artificial medicines that are being injected into the chickens for their faster growth, and also that is not good for the human health. So what do you think that why they are injecting these medicines into the chickens? Just because to meet the requirement of meat. So just like that, there are so many other artificial items that are being created to just meet the requirement of food or that food item. So now let's talk about the space. When population is increasing at a rate that is not being controlled, so more and more space is required to create a living area for such masses, right? So what happened that we destroy the wildlife, we destroy the green areas, we destroy the things that are not being made for us, right? The life of animals, the life of so many different species, we destroy these lives, right? So but we don't realize that we are not hurting only them, but we are also hurting ourselves, because when there is going to be more carbon dioxide, there's going to be more global warming, more ozone depletion, and this is going to hurt ultimately us humans, right? So the thing that I was thinking, I don't know if it's a joke or what, but we should start creating more into the vertical space, right? We should start creating more flat-like systems so that less space is occupied on the horizontally on the ground, right? So that there is space for trees, there is some space for the greenery left. When more and more space is occupied vertically, the ground will be left for some ground will be left for the greenery purpose, and so that we will hope for some better future. I don't know how it sounds. So that can happen, right? Because just for creating like one story building, we can create more and more stories of a building to just occupy less space on the ground and more space vertically, right? But as I am talking about greenery and these global warming things, I have to share something with you. I just like a few weeks back, I was watching a Nas Daily episode, and that made me really happy that we are doing good in terms of greenery. We have planted so many trees, and we are becoming the number one in terms of that. Let's have a look at that, what it says.
This video is about a country that is the fastest to fight climate change.
More power to all of those who contributed in this good work, and yes, we are proud of you. So as I have mentioned earlier, that there are so many things that are being affected by overpopulation, so it's not possible to discuss them all in a single video. So now we are going to have a little bit discussion about how this problem can be solved. First of all, I don't believe that this is a problem that can be solved by government. This is not something that should be dependent on government, right? This is something that can be solved by each and every family by their sense of realization that what they should be doing about, especially about their family planning, and about that what is the quality of life that they should be giving to their children, right? Because it's better to have two children that they can give a quality life to, they can give quality education, food, and the necessities of life to, than having 10 children that they cannot give good quality education to, quality of life to, and good clothing, good food, and etc. So it's a balance of sense, right? So what I was thinking that what should be the solution of this, right? So I realized that we are a little bit stubborn in nature as humans. So we don't realize the intensity of something until we are not affected. So family planning, this is why is not happening in so many families, because for now they are not being affected due to it, right? So what I thought is, as we all know, there are policies in different sectors, right? And like policies in education sector, healthcare sector, and different industries, as like it happened like standard, middle, and premium. So there should be the kind of policies that are premium should have some benefits, right? And those benefits should only be available for those families who have a certain number of children that is being suggested by the government. Whatever the kind of policies it, or whatever it is very detailed thing that I'm just saying, like overall. So when these beneficial policies will be available for only those families who have like a certain number of children only, and then people automatically will be inclined towards family planning and all that. Because when I was thinking that, this poetry of John Elia came to my mind. इलाज ये है कि मजबूर कर दिया जाऊं, वगरना यूं तो किसी की नहीं सुनी मैंने. So the thing that I'm going to discuss with you now is very important. As we live in the Islamic society, and there are some common disbeliefs. Some people believe that it's not allowed in Islam to plan families. Family planning is not permissible in Islam, and the reference of this disbelief comes from a verse that is this: So first of all, uh, to kill something or to kill someone, that someone or that something should exist. Something or someone that doesn't exist cannot be killed, right? So family planning in any manner doesn't mean to kill children, doesn't mean to kill children in any manner, right? It is just an advanced planning of of how many human a family or a couple can bring up, by giving them a good quality of life, by giving them good education and good necessities of life, right? Without they being suffering for something. So it's a misunderstanding, it's a misbelief that it's not allowed in Islam to plan families. It's totally allowed, it's totally good, and especially when the circumstances are like that earth can be at stake if a population is not being controlled. So it is now a necessity, it's not just an option, it should be done, it should be done at any rate, at any cost, and it is very necessary. Last but not the least, I wanted to talk about adoption. I First of all, it's everyone right to do whatever they want, what seems right to them. I just wanted to talk about it. So yes, everyone knows that adoption is one that great act that gives life and the love of family to a child that has lost it. So yeah, this is a great act. More and more, if more and more couple do this, more and more children will be able to have a life that may be a dream for them, and maybe they are so small to even dream about, but it can be when they grow up. So yeah, that's it about it. But yes, everyone has their own choices and their own circumstances, but this is one great act that is really appreciated. And I think to give family to someone, to give such love to someone, is one of the greatest act a human can do, right? Assalamu alaikum, this is Anna Babar and you are watching Miles to Go. And please let me know कि आपको वीडियो कैसी लगी, what are your thoughts on it. And also, as I have mentioned in my previous videos, that I'm trying to approach 100 small medium businesses from all across Pakistan, a non-profit, for-profit, that are creative or innovative enough to inspire a common person like me. Why I want to approach them? Because I want to make videos for them and write blog posts for them. Because if they can get like a little recognition because of me, I'll consider it my achievement. So for this, I have shared a form in the description below. Please share this form with anyone you know who has such kind of business, or if you have such kind of business, then please fill this form and share with others also. And if you have any question, you can ask me, and you can DM me, you can ask me in the group Miles to Go that you can join on Facebook. So you can ask there, or you can even DM me. So that's it for today. Allah Hafiz.